Hello and welcome back on my YouTube channel, Parth Doshi, Learning by Doing. So today we have one more industry expert with us, Mukesh Kala. I hope you might have already, many of you might have seen his amazing video series on YouTube. So today he is with us on sharing his journey as a senior RPA developer. He has total of 6 years of experience in the industry and around 2.5 in the RPA industry. So today he will be sharing about his journey, about what is senior RPA developer role. He will be talking about the roles and responsibilities and the challenges that he faced. So welcome Mukesh on my YouTube channel and thank you for accepting the collaboration for making this video. I hope this video helps to all the viewers of my channel.
Thank you, Parth. Thank you for having me on the channel and for this awesome introduction. I first of all, for talking about the channel, your channel is really very awesome. There are a lot
Thank
of
you.
guys, even me. I always refer
Mhm.
to your channel for your great videos. Okay, so let's start
Yeah,
by
okay. So
talking
let's
with
start
yeah, yeah.
by your journey and how you
Okay.
got into RP and how you are right now working, and yeah, let's start with that.
Okay, so I have total 6 years of experience in IT. That
Mhm.
includes 4 point some or 4 years approximately in .NET. So I started my career with Sintel, that is now Atos Sintel. I
Okay.
started as a .NET developer,
Mm-hmm.
working for around 2 years in that. Then I switched my job to Deloitte. There, I
Okay.
changed my career. I got a opportunity to work a little bit on RPA UiPath, and I found
Mm-hmm.
that thing very interesting. So
Okay.
I shifted my career from .NET to RPA. That
Mm-hmm.
was not a complete transition, but yeah, I was somewhere working on RPA, not
Okay.
completed, but a little bit. Then I thought
Mm-hmm.
that okay, this is something which excites me. So RPA was
Right.
new to me as I was working on the .NET part, and my primary day job was of .NET. Then I got a little gist of RPA, and I thought that okay, wow, this is really interesting, and
Interesting.
this is something new, right? So I did a small project, and then it
Mm-hmm.
actually grabbed my interest. Then started looking for more project, and I got a one more, and then I thought okay, now this is the thing I should stick to, and I then stick to RPA.
Right.
And the first tool which I worked was UiPath, and till that time I am working as a .NET developer. So now I am around having 2.5 years of experience as
Mm-hmm.
an UiPath RPA developer.
Right.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
taking that transition from .NET to UiPath, you might have found many things in UiPath pretty easy as well because the activities and all that
Yes.
are built are the main
Yes.
logic is on .NET. Like we
Yes.
most of the people don't know that or just ignore that this programming language is not required, but sooner or later we have to have the knowledge of that particular languages as well. So I think that could be an added advantage if someone from .NET
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
developer wants
Yes.
to transition his journey
Correct.
from
Correctly
.NET to
stated.
RP. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not only .NET. So in the IT industry, whatever you learn, right? So it's
Right,
not like you will find the benefit, but definitely if you learn something, you in future it will always benefit. So that
right,
happened
right,
me. So
right,
that .NET knowledge definitely helped me to start my UiPath journey. And
right.
then I started. So I tell this thing to each and every guy who comes to me that how should I start my UiPath journey,
Mhm.
right? So the first answer to the question is go with the UiPath Academy. That
Right.
is the point where I started, and then there are various community members. So I have watched a video of community members. Then
Mhm.
I went to the UiPath Learner was a site that was very popular at that time, right?
Right, right,
Sudhir channel was there. So 2.5 years back there was very less channel, but they were creating some awesome content.
right,
I
right.
started from UiPath Academy. And then talking about the .NET thing, it has definitely helped me a lot because the syntax, the
Right,
variables, the
exactly.
type of the variables that I
Mhm.
was readily able to grab. And then it was pretty interesting to start with RP. I started with doing small automation, let's say automating of the timesheets, and then automating some of the
Mhm.
small tasks, copy and paste, and it was really interesting.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Okay, okay.
So
So right now, like as you said, you are working as a senior RPA developer, right? So I
yeah,
would want
yes.
you to explain like what is that, what does that particular person or that particular role play in an organization, so we like see many people's profile, senior RP developer, RP developer. So like how does it is differentiating, and what is like the main definition you can give to someone for a senior RP developer?
Okay, so different organization have a different hierarchy of the team. So for
Mhm.
example, you might have a team where you have manager, then you might have lead, then you might have a senior RPA developer,
Right.
then RPA developer, and then some junior dev, and then correspondingly parallelly you would have a COE, and then parallelly you will have the business analyst,
Right.
right?
Right.
So talking about my role, I am aligned as a senior RPA developer.
Mm-hmm.
The roles and responsibility for me, it includes that I have a dedicated BA who is working with me.
Okay.
That BA, they assess all the opportunities which are the potential candidates for RPA. They
Right.
assess the opportunity, right? So as a RPA developer, then I have something called a RPA manager. So me and my manager who are
Mm-hmm.
working together, then we assess whether that problem statement is technically possible or not.
Right.
Okay,
And
when
whether
we
it
say
is
technically,
realistic or not, the automation.
exactly, right, realistic or not, and then the firm we are working, does that firm has that capability? Okay, so you might get an
Okay.
automation which is possible, that is
Mm-hmm.
100% possible, but that includes, let's say, Citrix, that includes ML skill, that include AI automation, but the firm
Mm-hmm.
or the client which you are working for does not want to go to the ML and the AI, right? So that is
Right.
the thing. As a senior RPA developer, first you have to assess, right, whether
Okay.
technically what are the tools you have, right? So I cannot say that yes, we will deliver an attended process. So I'll give you an example. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
comes to me, they ask me that, okay, we want to have a process where we want uh, we want to trigger it on the manual basis. We want
Mm-hmm.
it to sometime
Okay.
click on the button and it should do like that, like that. Candidate potentially fits for an attended automation,
Right.
but when we ask them, are you willing to invest on some attended robots or then they say
Mm-hmm.
no, we can't because of the some security access or anything
Right.
xyz reasons,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So that is the first thing you have to assess. Next, sometimes this is the case, right? So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
what happens, you get an automation where the building, the cost of automation is more than the effort you are saving. So
Okay.
for example, you get a piece of automation, the business says that okay, I am running this automation only thrice a month.
Okay.
Okay, and the
Okay.
execution time which I take is only less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
So in a month, the manual efforts is only 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Okay, but now you think from a developer point of view, from a solution architect point of view, right? He
Ha
will
ha
have to
ha.
design the entire solution. He would have to put efforts
Right.
on designing the solution approach, designing the PDD, code review,
Mm-hmm.
solution architect. Then we have to think out whether which orchestrator the bot will be, whether we have the available
Mm-hmm.
license. The time spent for the entire journey and the efforts you will make is not worth the saving which you are getting,
Okay.
right?
Right. 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 Right.
So this is
Mm-hmm.
very important aspects, right? You can't automate everything, right?
Right. Right.
Then right, no, you should automate, definitely you should automate, but
Right.
that is the point when your BA expertise comes in picture,
Mm-hmm.
when your solution architect expertise, and somewhere a senior developer. So he suggests, so I suggest that okay, instead of doing this automation, why not pick this one? Here
Right.
the amount of time saving is almost equal, but we are
Right.
saving cost, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
not only about time saving, sometimes we do
Mm-hmm.
cost saving also. So
Right.
that is, I won't say that I always select that okay, if I say this automation is we are not doing, nobody does, but yes, definitely I have to give my inputs, because at the
Right.
end I am the guy that automation is coming to me, right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
that is the roles and responsibility, and
Right.
apart from that, the coding structure.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Okay,
when
so
you
I
have some,
would
yeah,
like to
yeah,
pause you for
yeah,
1 second. So, like the
yeah,
points that you said right now. So, there
yeah,
are two important things for a senior RP developer. One, the automation should be realistic. So, it
exactly,
should be implementable. It should not something we like you say this and this will be automated. It's not
yes,
any magic tool, that should be realistic. And second, there should be the return of investment of the efforts that you are putting in.
correct,
So,
yes,
if it's like you said, I am a developer, I am developing a bot for around, I'm taking 15 days, but after that 15 days it is not even saying 1 hour for the business, so then it is
right,
not at all giving me that kind of return of investment. So like whatever
Right.
I'm investing now, investment also, I don't think investment we only consider the financial factors. We also
Time.
consider the manual efforts that are going to go in building that
Right.
particular robot. So I think,
Right.
like as per as my knowledge, I think that are the factors that are always
Exactly.
considered when we
Right.
are even calculating the return of investment as well. Because if I think if you give someone develop a bot in a month and I will run only once a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right.
so that doesn't make a sense, I think. So these are the
Right.
two main
Exactly.
things that comes on a senior RP
Hmm.
developer, like identify the realisticity of that particular automation and the return of investment that particular project is going to give.
Right.
Right.
And then also you have to think from a technical point of view, right?
Right.
So since you are working as a senior RPA developer, you should be aware of your entire infrastructure,
Right.
right? So
Right.
your orchestrator is at 2018, and the technology, let's say human in the loop, right? So you are
Right.
implementing human in the loop, but your orchestrator company orchestrator is at 2018, right? You can't
2018.
implement that, right?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
that is the thing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
senior
Right.
RPA developer you have to
Right.
tell.
So you need
Yeah.
that business knowledge along with that the technical knowledge and the infrastructure knowledge of your organization. So like it's
Exactly.
everything in combined that comes on a senior RPA developer. Right,
No,
right.
yeah, but then there are folks above you. So we have solution architect, then we have project managers, we have
Haha.
senior BAs also. But everything, it's a team effect. It's not like only one person responsibility.
Individual.
But yes,
Hmm.
definitely your contribution definitely adds, because you are
Right,
the
right.
guy who is going to tell them technically is it possible or not.
Right, right. So, like, I think, according to what you are saying, a senior RP developer should not have that kind of approach. Like, if this particular things comes, okay, my developer will see it or my team will see it.
No,
If
definitely not.
that is the point, say it at that time. Otherwise, you are only going to face the consequences later.
Right, right.
Right, right. Okay.
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
talking about the team, yeah. So I'll
mhm.
just make a point at talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the team. You should be, as a senior RPA developer, you should be know about your team strength
Right,
and the
right, right,
team capacity.
right,
Right.
right.
So that is also a thing.
Hmm. So, like you said, if there is ML or AI required, and in your
Mm.
team you don't have a person who has knowledge on maybe
Exact.
UiPath, AI Fabric, or something like that, even if there is a
Mm.
team of 10 people, none of them have that knowledge, and you take that project. So
Right.
now there are no people to do that project, but you already took that project. So that is also one
Right.
important thing to be considered, that knowing your team properly and then
Properly.
assigning
Yes.
the projects or taking the projects.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
that is right.
Hmm. Okay. So
And
now,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask it. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was asking that only. Now, when you are doing this, what are the challenges that you face? Maybe some less inputs from a BA or your RPA manager, like you said, you work along with him or maybe her.
Mm.
So what are that challenges that you face when you are doing that collaborative work or the teamwork or anything else that you want to share?
Yeah. So I won't say challenges, because see, every team which we work as a business is a new team, right? So they
Right.
are not like a traditional RPA. So
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes skip. So for example, if I ask you, Parth, how do you develop a video for a YouTube channel, right? So you
Huh,
will say, I'll go to the YouTube, I'll start the recording,
huh.
I'll record everything, I'll do the
Right.
editing, and I'll post it, right? It
Right.
sounds so easy, right? So
Right.
that is the way they give us, right? But actually you are doing a lot important stuff, lot of important things you are doing,
Right. Right.
which you don't so since you are doing it on daily or a weekly basis, it is like a habitual for you.
Hmm.
So you think that whenever I am going to tell this to other person, he will
Mm-hmm.
grasp this because it is very easy. But you don't see that, okay, you are doing it for such a long time, that's why it is easy for you. For a
Mm-hmm.
new guy, it might be difficult. So
Right.
in
Right.
that place, documentation, the
Right.
complete understanding of the project, it
Right.
becomes a very important. So some of the learnings which I as a
Mm-hmm.
means I during my career have, as a, not, I won't say I have a very vast career in RPA, but I have seen something that prior to automating, we should always look for an alternative solution. It is not like, so there might
Mm-hmm.
be alternative solution to that problem.
Right.
RPA
Right. Right.
may not be the always be the answer. It is
Right.
not like that if I am working as an RPA developer, so we should automate, right?
Right.
We should always look for the alternative, if there is any alternative or not. For
Right.
example, if I have to get a data from the website, the business tell me that okay, we go to this website, we scrape the data and we store it. This is the automation you automate. I go, I do the web automation, scrapes the data,
Right.
put in an Excel, send an email, right? If I am have to think, why not do an API? Let us build a .NET code, write an API. That API it will call. I save a effort of the UI automation, right?
Right.
I am
Right.
going by the API, right? So that
Right.
is something means
Right. So,
that
see,
thing
one
is
more example that I can relate to that is, so
yes,
for
yes,
example,
definitely
there is something like Excel automation need to be done. Now we know
right.
the power of Excel, like you have recently uploaded many videos on Excel automation as well. So now there is something that can be done using the macros as well. Like I haven't
Exactly,
explored
right.
macros that much, but like as far as I have explored and I have created 1 2 videos, I have seen that
Hmm.
some things can be done by the macro itself. You, if you
Exactly.
want to filter some data, you want to create a chart or something like that, don't just go like, yeah, UiPath, there is an activity to create a chart, I will do that automation, and what I'm doing
Right,
is I'm taking data from one sheet and creating chart in other. Now that same
right,
thing can be done using the macros as well. So we should also identify whether, again, it comes to like whether it is the right technology to use in this particular situations, since there are
right.
alternative, like you said, of API. So if the
Hmm.
organization permits, like the client permits that yes, an API can be created for our internal application or internal website, then why not do that instead of going towards automation and building that
Exactly.
complete workflow?
Right. And then
Yeah.
when you talk about this one, right? So there is always something called the process simplification, right?
Hmm.
So the you might be doing so. For example, I have to copy a data from one sheet to another sheet. So I do a control C, I paste the data, then I filter and I paste, right?
Right.
So it is not always necessary to do all the. So if I give you step 1 2 3 4 5, it is not
Hmm.
necessary you code it like 1 2 3 4 5. You can code it like 1 4 and 10 and still give me the same output, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that is also a quality which you can expect from a senior RPA
Hmm.
developer or any developer for that matter, that okay, you see that in the PDD it is written, in the solution design it is written that you copy, you get the data table, you filter the data table, then you paste the data
Hmm.
table, right?
Right.
Why not I take a data table at the beginning, the entire data, and do manipulation and then finally give
Exa-
the result? Why should I need to do
exactly.
this, right?
Exactly. So
So
you can
that
initially only take the complete filtered data and then do the process and
exactly.
then give the output. Right.
So
Right.
that is again depend upon process to process, but yeah. So for example, if I tell you we had this case in our team only. So
Uh-huh.
we had this email which is coming, and that email is having attachment, and then
Okay.
attachment we have to store it somewhere, and then from the attachment they have to get the data and then
Hmm.
actually paste it somewhere and then do the complete processing and
Right.
all. And
Right.
the
Right.
same data was available at a shared location also, right?
Okay.
So why do we need to go to the email, right? So
Exactly. Exactly.
that is the thing, right? So first you should know the entire structure of the project which you are automating.
Hmm.
You ask the team members that what happens if this email is not available. So how
Right.
I
Right.
got to that shared drive, I asked them the question. That
Right.
asking
Right.
question is the key thing. Now I asked them the question, your process starts with an email. If some fine day email is not working, what do? They say that okay, we go to this shared drive. Okay, so is the data available in the shared drive? Yes. Then why do I need the email?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So
so that is
we
something.
are reducing the manual steps by doing the automation. So it should not be like automation should be also the same steps that are being performed
Exact,
manually. It
exactly.
should be
That
the
is yes.
reduction of that as well, because that is why
Hmm.
we are going towards automation to save the time.
Right, and that is the difference which we say as is versus the to be process. So when we create a PDD, so we always put this as is. So this was your 10-step process. We
Okay.
reduced it to 5 steps. So this was your as is process. This is your to be process.
Right,
In
right.
future, if the process needs to be done manually, right? Because you can't rely always on the robots. Sometime your orchestrator is down. Sometime your production machine is down.
Right,
So you
right,
can
right.
tell the business that in case you require to do this steps manually, you don't have to do this 10 step, just do these 5 steps.
Right, right,
So
right, right. Yeah, right, right, right. Okay, okay. Yeah. So, any other like guidance before we end this video? Any other guidance or tips? So, no, okay. Before that, one more question. Now, you said you have 2.5 years of experience and you are a senior RP developer. So, is
yeah.
there something like in the industry or in the different organizations? for a senior RPA developer role, what is the minimum number of experience required?
Say it is not like that. The experience is tightly coupled to your, if I am, let's say, if today I am 6 years of experience, tomorrow I am 8 years, and I should be a project manager or I should be a project lead, right? Your level of expertise decides that which level are you working, right?
Right, right.
You might find a guy who is working at 4 years and leading a team. On the other hand, you might have a person who is 6 years but still working as a junior
Yeah,
dev,
yeah, yeah.
right? So there
I
is,
know some people like that.
right, so there is no, you cannot tightly couple the experience with
Mhm.
the designation. So
Okay.
designation definitely does not, it's just a word.
Right,
So
right.
it's, if I go to the different organization, there I may be, let's say, business senior technology analyst. In somewhere I will be senior software
Right,
developer,
right,
but
right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
not
you are
tightly
saying that
coupled.
it can be like in 2 years, a particular person worked on only 4 projects of RPA, and
Hmm.
another B person in 1 year he worked on 10 projects.
Right.
So now that one
And
year has more impact than that 2 years.
right, so it not basically impact, so it again depends the 10 project. If I do all the 10 project of Excel, and if I do a two
Right,
projects of
right, right,
AIML, so you can't always have a thin line differentiation.
right,
There
right.
will be always, but yeah, so the end part, so the, if I just go by the crux of this summary, so
Hmm.
if you are good at something, right, you are definitely going to get the benefits for that one, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
if you are able to prove yourself in your organization, then you are
Hmm.
getting it. If you are not able to prove it,
Right,
then
right.
nobody is going to promote you or anything for that matter.
Right, 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 right. Okay, okay. So, any final tips or guidance that you would like to share before ending this video? Because you shared many insightful, like small points that you picked. I like even I really learned that through what you shared your experience. So that was really amazing. So, any final tips or guidance that you would like to share?
So I am not like I have not achieved in a very good position that I can give tips, but yeah, definitely I can always guide the freshers. Definitely I can guide the junior devs. So the one thing that I would definitely like to tell everyone which are at the experience of, I won't be able to guide the people who are 8 or 10 years, but definitely for the people who are at experience of 5 and
Right,
less
right.
than 5, then complete the courses of the UI Academy,
Right.
join the community, communicate, join the events definitely.
Right, right.
And
Thank you so much, Mukesh, for sharing your experience. And also, so in the description, I will be adding Mukesh's LinkedIn profile link. So anyone who wants help or has any queries can just directly contact him. And trust me, he's really helpful. Even I have messaged him many times and asked for his help. And also, I will be adding his YouTube channel link in the description. So please go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And he has many amazing videos on many different topics, and he will be uploading more, hopefully. Yeah, and I think you will be
yes,
uploading more
yes,
videos.
yes, yes,
So thank you
yes,
so
yes.
much for
Thank you,
accepting
Parth.
this invitation and making this video. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Parth.
Okay.